Welcome back, Backpack Battlers, to the Road to GM, the series where we random our way to the highest rank in the game. If you haven't played Backpack Battles before, you've got these 6 different classes, and each of these classes has their own unique set of bags as well. What we like to do here is we click that dice right in the center. We random our way. That randoms our class, it randoms our bag, and it also randoms the items within that bag. And today we landed on adventure. It's a super random run, actually, because this adventurer bag, basically, whenever you enter a shop, it spends all your gold on just random items, and it makes it so you can get any of the class items in the shop as well. So it's a super random run here. If you look down right here, you can see we are gold 47.
Wow.
And we're down to business. We picked up the on-sale buckler. We picked up the on-sale pan. We put the blueberries next to the pan so they're nice and happy. I'm liking the mana orb and the blueberries together. That's a nice little synergy. Basically, we're just going to be generating a bunch of mana, so we'll see if we can get some items here to capitalize it. We picked the twine. That's going to help us combine some stuff later, some good adventure stuff. And we send a reroll. I like the on sale forge hammer as well. Gives us access to basically all of the berserker items that are crafted with it. And it's also just free damage. It's on sale, so literally free. So we do a little rearranging. We throw that free hammer on the board. That's all of our gold spent. We give our bag one final look over, rearrange the twine just a little bit here, and then we send into the battle phase. And it's a mirror matchup, adventure on adventure violence. We're up against Cheryl, the adventurer. They've got a broccoli banana, and they're dealing a lot of damage here, but luckily our pan slaps them out just in time, and we secure our first win. You can see all these random items that just kind of fell right into our storage. That's our adventurer bag at work. So it spent all our gold on random items. Ooh, I want that pig, 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 pig. And now they're just in our storage, so we can see what we make of these. And it's time to get to work. We got to start building our bag. And of course, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, listening to me yap about my backpack battle runs makes your day just a little less lonely. So I appreciate you guys. We put that amethyst into the pan. That's going to remove some debuffs on our enemies. I feel like it's not very strong late game, but early game, it's actually really nice when people aren't printing buffs at the start, so just removing those buffs early game is quite nice. We're left with a leftover mana potion. I like it, but I kind of want the space here. I know we're going to need some space, so I'm debating selling it along with something else. I want the pig, I want the storage, so we're kind of weighing our options here. It's so early game that I like playing greedy, which is why I like the pig. So we end up selling it. We buy the pig, throw it on the board, and enter the next battle phase. And we get paired up against the Ranger Legend. They've got a hero sword, wooden sword build with a short bow kicker. A lot of damage coming out. We're fighting back here. Our pan slapping. Very close, 2 HP, but he is able to clutch it out just right at the end. A very close battle. And what does our adventure bag pop to us but a broccoli goobert? Whoosh 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 whoosh. The hype is real. Shop 3 also gives us the opportunity to pick a skill. Looks like we got Super Spacious, which we went last game. Wasn't thrilled about it. We've got Blood Manipulation and Knife to Meet You. Again, nothing too compelling, but the Mystery Box.
The mystery box could be anything.
It's on sale and we go for it. And we get Smithing for Dummies. Honestly, pretty decent. It does nothing for us right now. The Whetstone is good though. Will just give us some nice damage early game, and we'll see what we can make of it. We get the Broccoli Goobert on the board. We do a little rearranging. Think of where we want the mana orb, so it's triggering off. and we've got to kind of rethink how everything is set up here to optimize for the broccoli. So we rip everything off the board and get started, but we've sped everything up 2,000%. And we send into the battle phase and get paired against the Chinese Reaper White Lithianthus Flowers. We're slapping. Our short bow that we picked up is going ham. Our pan is popping off. We're taking buffs off, but we're taking a lot of damage. We're hanging on by a third 1 HP. We regen a little bit, but it's not enough. And we take our second loss of the game. 2 losses in a row, but we've got an axe to turn things around. It's going to give us a little more damage, which we are in dire need of. You can see we reserved this second Goobert. And we're going for EXODIA. We're going to combine all the Gooberts here to make Rainbow Goobert. It was decided, it was fate when into our storage popped that broccoli Goobert. We have to do it. So we pop the emerald into the axe, get the whetstone on both weapons, and we're thinking of what to liquidate to get this Goobert. We sell the short bow, buy the Goobert, and we're thinking of how to set everything up on the board. Gotta give them a little sploosh. We throw them on and do a little rethinking. Once we're happy with everything, we send into the battle phase, and we get paired up against the Berserker Darth Mazra. He's got a hero sword shovel build. We're slapping, our axe is doing well, our pan is doing work, but he enters Berserker Rage and he's dealing some serious damage, too much for us to hold up, and we take our third loss in a row. Our run is in dire straits right now. How are we supposed to build Exodia if we are taking so many losses? We'll have to turn things around. We did get a mini Goobert. We got a torch from our random items here. I love the carrot as well, so we're thinking about that. Get the Goobert on the board. I and the Badger Spirit Companion. Almost sell the torch, but honestly, we looked things over, and the magic torch, we have this mana orb where blueberry is generating mana. We have nothing to use that mana, though. The torch could be a great way to spend our mana and translate that into damage into our enemy, which is something that we absolutely need. Kicking ourselves just a little bit for selling that mana potion earlier, but in the context of everything, ultimately was the right play. So we liquidate the pan, we get the whetstone on the board on our torch to deal a little more damage. Pick up the carrot. The carrot's a great item. It cleanses to activate things. We want the space as well, though. So we get our storage, our leather pouch. We sell a few more things to make room for the carrot. And once we're happy, we get the forge hammer on the board. We get our card on the board. Figuring out where to place this mana orb in the mini Goobert as well. The one issue with playing Gooberts is it's always just a nightmare fitting everything on the board, but we make it work. It's part of the game, and once everything's happy, we send it to the battle phase. And we get paired up against the Mage Goat Mangler. You could see we both have a lot of sustain. The double Goobert's popping off. We're very happy with it. Our axe is scaling, and boom! We clutch out our second win of the game, something we absolutely needed here. And we enter shop 6. We kind of high roll. We get the box of riches, which is bag space. If we got 2 unique items in there, we get a free chipped gemstone. We love that. We get an armored pup. It likes being next to food. We can use it to activate our Goobert as well. Despite our recent losing streak, I think we have the tools to turn everything around. Pig in the fanny pack, a little bit of a misplay there, but we don't really have a way to rearrange and make it so it's not in the fanny pack. So we throw the amethyst on. Eye over a power puppy. It's giving us luck, regen, or empower every 2 something seconds. So that's really good. We throw on the customer card, and we get our Star of Courage in there as well. Throw the pig back on the board. Spin the torch around for good luck. And also get it in the fanny pack as well, which is good. I like the chili, I like the mushroom, but we don't have the gold for them, so we send it to the battle phase. And we're paired against the Pyromancer. Mothmas. Uh, they've got some cold rainbow badge with a broom, a burning sword, and molten dagger with that nice little food chain to boot. We're dealing a lot of damage here. Our puppy's going ham, our axe is scaling, and everything's working. Finally, we get our third win on the board. And we enter shop 7. We get a nice little hedgehog that's got some spikes, gives us some armor. We also have this box of riches here. We're kicking ourselves a little bit for selling that twine, because you could combine the twine and the box of riches for a nice little super pig. But sadly, we sold our twine, so we cannot. We are completely out of space. And the shop is offering an interesting trade. We could trade our armored puppy for a chain whip, which honestly is kind of compelling. We're thinking about it. We need a little bit of a stronger item. I don't think the axe can carry us all the way to the next phase. So we end up pulling the trigger. We trade the puppy for the chain whip. That means we're going to exit the axe. So the whip is nice because it's removing buffs off the opponent, and every buff it removes, it does more damage. So decent way to scale up. Now we just have to fit a few more things on the board. Let's get the hedgehog on, throw him in there so he's happy, figure out how to get this Goobert on, figure out how to get the boots on, and this extra space is absolutely going to help with that. We throw everything together and we send into the battle phase. And we're pitted up against the Chain Whip Berserker 181880101. It's a battle of the chain whips. We're both into Berserker Rage. Who's doing it better? The Adventure or the Berserker? His banana's popping off. We're getting some spikes. We're hitting as hard as we can. And it looks like our chain whip is scaling. Our armor's in. We're in fatigue. And yes, we are able to clutch out another win. And we enter shop 8 riding high. We generate an employee uniform, which they've been buffing a ton, so we might try to find a way to use it. Problem is it's pretty big. No interest in that Excalibur, so we go ahead and sell it. And we also have the opportunity to choose a subclass. We are eyeing a few things, but this Weapon Master, which gives us this Mercurial Elemental, is really catching our eye. Basically, when our weapons attack, we poison the hell out of our enemies. And we got a lot of weapons, so it seems like a good choice. We end up pulling the trigger on it. We go Weapon Master, ignoring all the other subclasses. And now we kind of fill out our board. We liquidate a few things, send a nice little reroll. Not liking that. We do get the mana potion to get our torch, make up for that mistake we made. Well, not necessarily a mistake. Make up for selling our mana potion that we had earlier to get this torch online. It's really going to be important with our weapon build now. Now we just have to fit everything on. We get the Mercurial Elemental on, sell a few things, and oh boy do we hit in this shop. We have an on sale Goobert along with a leather sack to fit him in. So we pick him up, throw him on the board, rearrange a few different things here, and get ready to send into the battle phase after throwing some stuff in the air for good luck. And it's a battle to the death between me and the adventurer Wu Chan. I googled it, and apparently he's a professional football player, or soccer if you're an American here, which I am. Look at the poison just stacking up left and right here. We're dealing a ton of damage, but they are out gooberting us. Huge crit swings the battle, and we survive with just 4 HP. And we enter shop 9, riding high. Mana potion completes for us, so we move that over to finish up our magic torch. Again, that's going to be a nice use of our mana. We're generating a little bit of mana here and there, so the ability to use that up is clutch. It's going to translate into damage, which we absolutely need. Plug that ruby into our chain whip. It's going to give us a little bit of lifesteal. We see the snowball. We think of the Snowmaster again. We think back to our sweet, sweet Reaper game where we built the Snowmaster and we're RPing as a Death Knight, which is cool. There's the cupcake. We eye the cupcake Goobert. It's kind of counterintuitive for our Exodia strat, though. Because if you make the other food Gooberts, so there's broccoli Goobert, there's chili Goobert, and there is carrot Goobert, and one more which I'm forgetting, but I'm sure you can remind me in the comments which one I'm forgetting. Uh, if you make those are each class specific, so only one of them pairs into Rainbow Goobert. We want to go Exodius, we want to build the Rainbow Goobert, so we are passing up that cupcake. Uh, we're offered a trade here for Spell Scroll Ice Block. Look it over, not too compelling. So we just are thinking of how to get everything on the board before we send into the next battle phase. A few little odds and ends left in the box as we send in, and we get paired up against the Ranger. 353662950. They've got a Steel Goobert, they've got a Fortuna's Kiss and a Whip, combined with no Rush Please. Let's see how our Weapon Master stacks up, which is stacking a ton of poison, and the poison finishes them off. Very powerful right now. And we go into Shop 10 riding high. We enter shop 10 and a katana greets us, so we have to do some quick calculus here, rebuild our board from the bottom up to fit on this katana, make everything under this weapon master so it's all proccing massive poison, giving us massive armor here. We also have the opportunity to choose a skill. So once we go through that, we go for the mystery box. And what do we get but stoned, which is pretty strong because it stacks with armor. So whenever we have armor, we are taking less damage. And our weapon master is giving us a ton of armor. So it's a match made in heaven. I also love this lightsaber. If we have a Goobert eat the lightsaber, we will be able to get one step closer to Exodius. And with everything set up, we send into the battle phase, and who do we face but the Reaper Tap. They've got a Thorn build, and it's just too strong. It's just too strong. Takes us out. The cards and the thorns were just a little too much for us, and we take another loss. Our Goobert ate the lightsaber, though, so we put the katana back on the board. We got this spiked wall, which they've also been buffing a ton, but the 30% base stam regen nerf is just not too compelling, and it takes a ton of space. I do like this divine potion, though. We're adding a ton of poison to ourselves, part of the Weapon Master subclass. So the ability to take some of that off is really strong with this Divine Potion. So we pick it up, send a reroll, and now we have the tall task of fitting all of this stuff on the board. The potion has to go on. We like our rat too. A little bit better than the garlic, so we end up swapping the rat for the garlic. And our build is looking pretty good. We get the Divine Potion on and we send into the battle phase, and we get faced up against the Reaper known as Smiley Face. They've got a double Scythe Excalibur build. We're poisoning up them, they're poisoning up us. Our armor's coming in clutch though, and we're dealing a lot of damage. And boom, the poison just knocks them right out. And Shop 12 grants us a hold all, which we needed the space desperately. We sell the spear, eyeing the impractically large greatsword as well. If we didn't sell the forge hammer, it might have been cool, but we take everything off to kind of incorporate this hold all and begin the process of once again rethinking our board. Well, that's something that I'd have to give a negative to this particular bag of adventure. Like, you just can't plan what you get, so when you get random items, you kind of have to rethink everything, which just takes a lot of time to play. It's kind of fun, but you're spending a lot of time rearranging your bag, optimizing things so everything fits, which sometimes is fun, sometimes not. So, one final look, and we send to the battle, and we get pitted against the Pyromancer Kakuro. They've got a lot of heat going on us. Let's see if our poison is enough to knock him out. He's blinded, he's poisoned, and he is out of here. And we enter shop 13. We get a puzzle box and a tiger rune, which generates Vamp. when our weapon hits, which is pretty cool. So we plug that into our whip. The other sleeper item we got here is that stamina scroll. We've got a lot of weapons. They're all using a ton of stamina. So any way we have to juice that is going to be really beneficial to our build. So we kind of rethink a few things, figure out how to throw everything on here as we get ready for our next battle. The EXODIA dream is a little bit dead here. I'm not sure we're going to be able to try to combine everything. We're missing some pretty big pieces in order to complete it, but we sell some final things and get ready to send into the battle phase. Throw on that last cheeky fanny, and here we go. And we get paired up against the mage. W Laddie West Side. They've got a hammer spectral dagger build with some thorns to act as a kicker. Our poison is just stacking up on them, and they just have no answer for it. It's too much for them to handle, and we secure another victory. Shop 14 brings us a nice little moon armor. Adds to our space issues, but it plugs into our build pretty nicely. We can use it as a way to activate Gooberts. It's given us mana, which our mana little torch is going to use, so that's excellent. So we figure out how to plug it in the board, end up leaving one of our Gooberts off, plug the rat back on, and we're ready to go for our next battle. And we give the Goobert a nice little squish for good luck, and we're into the next battle against Sly Marbo. They've got a ton of heat as a pyromancer. We're stacking the poison once again, though our armor's super high. They get a clutch phoenix resurrection. Is it enough to turn it around? The answer is no. Our poison is too strong. We knock them out here. And now we have a choice. A tumultuous start. We can just take 12 MMR, call it a day. Or we can go to survival mode and see if we can juice our numbers here. Part of me is still clinging to that Exodia Rainbow Goobert, so we end up going into survival mode. And we're greeted into survival mode with a fanny pack and a nice bird. Throw the bird on the board. We have to survive for 4 more rounds. So in order to do that, we're going to have to play our best and see if we can get through these boards. You don't go into survival mode unless you've got a good board, so the difficulty ramps up quite quickly. We get that blood amulet in the hopes of getting our Rainbow Goobert, and then we send into the battle phase. And we get paired up against the mage Krollcott 1. They've got a shield cupcake wand with a paradise bird kicker. They've got a ton of armor, but our poison is just stacking to the moon here. And you can see it's just too much for them to handle. 65, 74, they're out of the game. Shop 15 pops out an ice dragon for us. This thing is huge, and I really struggled with figuring out how to find a way to put it on our board. So we sped this up 2000% here as I work through all the math to figure out how to fit this on the board without compromising our stam. We end up taking the row off the bottom, moving the bird up top, putting it right in the top corner and getting everything on, and then send it to the battle phase. And we get pitted up against the Berserker Timbro. They've got a runed axe here. Will our poison be enough to take him down? The axe is hitting hard, poison stacking on both of us. Our armor's putting out a ton, but he goes into Berserker Rage. His axe is hitting hard. We're healing up. Is it enough? No, it is not. Shop 17 spits out a perfect emerald. That's going to stack nicely with our poison here. I'm going to be poisoning the enemies to oblivion. So we throw that perfect emerald in the katana, look over our board. Our crow is completed. Honestly, we're looking pretty strong. We throw the platinum card on, get a few other items in there. Thinking about the carrot as well. It's cleansing us, which is nice. And we aren't really buying uniques, so the platinum customer card actually doesn't do that much for us here. We end up making the right call. Throw the carrot in. We juice our armor by putting in some sockets there and get that mini Goobert on the board. Everything's looking good, so we decide to send into the battle phase. And we get pitted against a ranger, a flash of eyes. They've got a rose thorn, they've got a bunch of birds. They're dealing out a ton of damage, and they're actually doing a better job of dealing with our poison than we are. So our poison's doing more damage to us than it is to them, and in the end, they're able to clutch out a victory. Shop 18 spits out another moon armor for us. We don't need two, so we end up selling it. We didn't hit the hero sword or a second goobling, so the dream of Rainbow Goobert was officially dead last round. Sad to see. We'll have to play it yet again. We've still got a pretty strong board though with this Blood Goobert on there. We pair it with some blueberries and we get ready for the last battle. It's our last life too, so it's do or die here. It's a mirror match against the Adventurer Tussie. They hit the Rainbow Goobert, where we did not. Who is better? Who's going to be able to survive? Their ukulele and all their flutes are popping off, but our poison is getting dangerously high. And in the end, non-Rainbow Goobert proves to be better than Rainbow Goobert. Who would have thought that the EXODIA build would be beat by somebody who missed the EXODIA build? What a strange twist of fate. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and check out my other content. Thanks again. I'll catch you guys next time.